Okay guys, Carl Schuckert here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick demo of how to use the NowDriven, the website application. And you can notice that it's going to always be parked at nowdrivencrm.com. So if you, for whatever reason, forget where to go, that'll be the place that you need to go. Now that you'll see that there's a couple of different options here that you can do. One of the options is the Facebook login, or you can do the normal login. And if you forget your password, you can go here. Remember to like us on any of our social media on the bottom. And if you don't have an account, you can actually create one here. Now, I do want to mention that if you found us during the launch, this is going to be a different pricing structure. And this is probably going to be the pricing structure that's based off of our retail version. So I don't recommend that you go through there. Just letting you know. So if you just remember to put remember me and log in once you know your credentials. The other thing is, like I said, the Facebook, this particular account isn't hooked up to my regular account, so it's not going to sync. But the first time that you do use it, it's going to ask you for your Facebook credentials, and then it'll allow you to do it from the future from there on out. It's just another added feature in case you don't like to remember passwords and you don't want to keep it on here for whatever reason. However, like I said, just if you hit the remember me, it'll remember you unless you clear your cookies. So now that I logged in, you can see on the top here is considered the dashboard. And on the dashboard, you can see it's going to have your name. It's going to tell you the leads that you have on hand, which are the new opportunities. It's going to show you how much money in current sales you've made. And this number can be based off of what you want to implement. Some people want to implement just their commission so they know what they're making. And some people like to do the total number of sales. So if you're selling like a big ticket item, say you sell, furniture, $10,000 couches or something like that, and you wanted to just say total sales and you knew that you made like a 20% commission, you could do that too. A lot of companies like to just use the total number in sales. And in insurance, you could use like annual premium, the annual amount of money that you stick in there. And then you could see, you could figure out your commissions from there. And it's just up to you on what you want to do when you're filling out the disposition after you made a sale. So then the next thing on the right here is the closed sales. This is actually used for any of your demos or presentations and that you've closed. So, if you're on phone sales, or if you do field sales, or if you do business sales, or people walk into your office, each time that you do a presentation, that's going to count on the right. And every time you close a sale and you said that you made them a customer and you sold them, that's going to be this number 7 right here. To the right is presentations. Like I said before, could be demos, presentations, walkthroughs, the first time you meet with a customer or potential client and you've given them some sort of information where you've done sort of a presentation at least, you'd probably want to start counting that as a presentation at that point. However, presentations are counted as sales or no sales. So even if you don't make a no sale, you can always schedule a callback or another appointment or something like that in the disposition form. Below here is part of your analytics. Now, it's not all of your analytics, but it is important to know where your sales and where your presentations are coming from. And you can build each of your own source, basically your lead source. So say you did a telemarketing campaign and it was for a cable company, let's just say. You wanted to actually track every single lead that came through there. And so you could actually build the source type, and it would actually show up here as once you started presenting to these leads, it would say, well, like if you notice your source 1, 70% of my presentations came from source 1, and that's just because I uploaded like 500 or 400 something leads in there that all came uploaded as source 1, so it's it's going to be a high number anyway. Then you'll see what the number 2 and number 3 and number 4 and number 5 is. These are all the same, but it's still going to be in that order chronologically. So then the next part on the side on the right is the sales. So this will tell you the percentage of your sales that come from each source type. Now, obviously, you can see on the left-hand side that the most presentations come from here, so obviously the most sales are going to come from there. I'm going to show you too where it's going to show you your closing ratio on each one of these leads. Okay, so now the next section here is your goal, and your goal can be set however you want to set your goal. You can set it based between two date ranges, and you can name it whatever you want to name it. On here, it's mainly the things that you need to focus on in order to hit this total sales number. And usually in most businesses, it's either about the number of phone calls, the number of presentations, the number of drop-bys, and number of sales. So we do have a number of phone calls that's going to be implemented in here shortly, but right now we've just got the 4. It is in the actual goal tracker itself, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. And you can still track it. It's just not going to show up on your dashboard. Okay, so now after we pass the goal part, you'll see down here is today's schedule, and all of these will be scheduled into like my iCal or my Google Calendar, as long as you sync it when you add something, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But if you notice on the bottom here, it's got the most important information that you need. So it'll have an event title if you decided to add it, and even if you didn't, like on the app, you can put nothing there and it'll actually just put the name. So you could see these were probably added from the app most likely, or I put the name in there. This one wasn't, so it might have been added from inside here. Might have been done by one of my developers too, I don't know, because they're still testing, doing a lot of testing with the system. You'll see the business name. This is important too, especially if you work with businesses, to actually know the name of the business and then the name of the person. If you click on the person, it'll actually allow you to edit the lead. And then also you can do the same thing on the right-hand side. Now on the right-hand side are the main actions, the main functions that you can do. So if you wanted to make a phone call and you wanted to call one of these leads, so let's say I wanted to call this one down here through Skype, I would just press this button like this. And then it's going to ask me right there if I want to be, if I want to make a phone call, and I'd hit call, and then it's going to start calling that number. So very, very cool. So very cool right there. You can just make a phone call. Right here, I can actually see where it's going to be out on the map. So let's go back to this one and let's see where it's going to be located on the map. Now currently working on a bug right here. This map is actually going to fit inside this box here, so you don't have to scroll down like I just did. It'll actually be, whoops, it'll actually be right in there. So, but as you can see, right here, it shows me my lead, and it's right where it's located, this lead. And there's the address, everything that you need. You know, I can scroll more into it or double click into it. And so it shows you the route of where it's at now. The cool thing is I'm going to show you in a minute is how to add a bunch of leads onto here. So you can click off there, and then let's say I wanted to change it in the schedule, I could press that button. I'm going to show you that later. And then let's say if I wanted a disposition, I could click that button. I'll show you that later as well. Now the next thing is you have user management, which you can look at all the people if you have a manager's account, if you have agents, or if you have salespeople under you, or Salesforce. Say you're a regional director or general manager of some sort, you could actually have a huge force of people under you. It's really about it. You can actually also look at login history, and right here I'm going to show you the analytics. So when you click on here, okay, so once it opens up in here, then you'll be able to see all of your group of people. Like I said, my account is a regional director, so I'm going to see a lot more, which is my account right here. And you'll have their phone numbers if they have one listed, and you can actually call them from here as long as you have a phone number listed for them. And you can see their last login, so you could see if they've been working, and you can see how many leads are in their database, make sure that they have plenty of leads to work. And you can see their status, if they're active or if they're not active within the system. Say they canceled their system or whatever, they don't have it. You can actually open up to even more. Say you had more people, you could open up to, I think up to 300, yeah. So up to 300 there. Now let's just look at my analytics, because really in this system I'm only working myself. And anyway, you can see though, just so you know, you can promote people up or down. So if they were promoted to a manager, you can actually promote them within the system, and you can say who that they report to in the system as well, like who their next person in line is that they need to report to. So let's go to my reports. Now in the reports here is everything's going to be based off the date range. So let's just say I wanted to look at last month to today. And so here it's going to show you these are just your basic numbers between these two dates, and it's not going to really break down the source completely, but it will tell you at least what you're doing. So like I've had 19 new leads come into the system. That's opportunities. And then it has callbacks, how many phone calls I've actually set as a callback, and number of drop-bys. These are the ones I went to and either presented to or I didn't. It still tracks it for you. Number of appointments, 18. Number of no-shows, so I had one person that didn't show up. Number of presentations. This will show you the total number of presentations that you did, number of sales between that time, number of calls made. So again, it's really important to track those numbers right there. And then your annual net sales. So $14,510 was my annual net sales. This, like I said, is whatever you want to put in there. You can make it your commission. You can make it your total sales number. You can make it the value of what you're selling. It's really up to you. You can do annual premium if that's what, if you're in insurance, like my background. And so then the next thing here is miles driven. If you want to start using the mileage tracker, there's a mileage tracker in here. It'll help you keep track of your miles. It doesn't do the report, which that's going to be an updated feature in the future. Then on here, dead leads, which is 8. And that's it. Then it tells you pretty much the same information that you have on the presentations, but it's giving you your total between those dates. So the next thing is the average. And then also too, by the way, from here, you can actually look at other people's, so you don't have to go back. The next one here is average, your averages, and averages are usually based off like weekly, monthly, and yearly. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to look at just like the beginning of the year to today. Okay, so average number of on a weekly basis, I think. Let's see. Yeah. Let's just do monthly, but you can do monthly and yearly. Really, you're going to only do weekly or monthly. But on a monthly basis, out of all the leads I've brought in there, I'm bringing in about 281 leads. That's a lot of leads on a monthly basis. If you're going to go after it, you're going to go after it. Average callbacks, 0, because I really haven't been doing a lot of callbacks. Average calls made, 14. Average drop-bys, 62 in a month. That's kind of low. We can do more than that. Average appointments, 13. Average sales, 11. Average presentations. So in a month, this is what it's giving me. Average premium. Now, I probably should change the date here because beginning of the year, we really put in some crazy numbers just to make sure the system can handle it. So here we go. Now you'll see average presentations, average premium per sale. So this premium number is really the average dollars per sale, or average, if you do decide to stick in your commission, it's going to say average commission per sale. Average premium per lead. So there'll be like average commission per lead or average dollar amount per lead on your sales number. Your closing ratio. This is your total closing ratio on everything. Then it's going to break down into your show ratio. So your appointment to presentation. There is something wrong here. So we are completely aware of this little bug here. Should never be past 100% unless something was skewed, but it won't in the future, and it won't in your system when you get it. Next thing here is it's going to show you your top closing ratios. So for source number 1, I've got a 40% closing ratio. For my closing ratio on mailers. So on mailers, look, this is what I wish I'd be focusing on. So when I look at all these, I can say on visits, which is could be like someone that comes into your door. Online, these are just a test. Unknown, just a test really, but it's probably unknown are the ones that were never assigned anything and has a really low closing ratio. No wonder, right? So on here, I would say personally, I'm going to want to focus on these 3 different types of leads. And I would still focus on these other leads, but I would really want to put like more money. If I was getting a 66.67% closing ratio on mailers, then I would know that is where I need to focus my time on. Very neat. And like I said, weekly, annual, yearly. We are working on manager's reports. That part isn't part of your account yet, but in the future it probably will be, especially if you're getting set up now before we launch and we go public. All right, so that is the reports. Very, very good. Very helpful, very useful information here. Let's go ahead and go to lead management. So we can list our leads right here. Now, if you notice, here's all the leads. It's going to be, this is like all the leads in the system that I have. I mean, I could throw out like 300 leads in here easily. And it's just going to show you all of your leads. And I still have even more, right? So that's a lot of leads. Like, I couldn't just focus on that. So one thing I always suggest to do is that you break it down either from dates. So you can pick, for instance, you could pick some different dates here that you choose. You know, if I wanted to say I want to just focus on leads that came in here from here to now. So that's going to change, right? That changed my leads drastically. So I would know, though, again, this is a test account, but I would know that this information here is the newest possible leads for me to work, because I would want to work these ones right away. Usually the newest leads that come in, you want to work right away. So that's just an example. Just blank it out. The other thing you can do is, say you wanted to just work in a zip code, and that was it. You just wanted to focus on one zip code. So there you go. Now I'm focusing on one zip code. Now I want to focus on new leads that have never been worked in that zip code. So that'll narrow my leads down a little bit. Still can see quite a bit of leads. I picked a big zip code there, but if you even wanted to narrow down even more, you could pick the dates. And the other thing you can do is you can do based off lead source. Now remember, I said mailers. Like, I have the highest closing ratio with mailers. So let's see if I have any there. No, I don't have any leads for mailers. They're probably all under source 1. Yep. So anyway, that would be how I'd want to work. So if I wanted to make a phone call and I wanted to just work down through here, I would just easily hit the Skype button, and then it's going to ask me to make a phone call, and I hit call. And now I'm calling Skype. Now you do have to have a Skype out account, but it's very inexpensive. It's like $2 or $3 a month, and you get unlimited calling, which I think is up to like 5,000 minutes, which is still a lot of time per month. You could literally just go down and start making a call on each one of these as you're rolling down. Now, this isn't a dialer system or anything like that. We're not dialing a whole bunch of numbers. We're still dialing one by one. However, this is a lot more effective than hand dialing, either with your phone or even if you had to dial through Skype. It's, you know, it would still have to be like a cut and paste type of situation. And I actually had to do that once, and it sucked. So either way, it sucks. This way is way better, way more effective. Now, the other thing I want to show you is, let's say you wanted to build a little route for yourself and you wanted to see how far these leads were from your current location. You can click on each one of these as you go down and just add a bunch of them, okay? This was, I don't know if you watched our other demo on the app, but there was a little bit of a bug in there. It's still, you know, the whole thing, it still has the same bug in here. But you can see from here, it's still going to show you your distance and your mileage between each lead. So you could tell, like, this is going to be the closest lead. So I can actually just look at that one on the map, or I can try to look at all of them on the map for whatever reason. So one of these leads was over here in California. Let's scroll in here. And now you can see all of the leads here on the map. It's very cool. So you can go and you have a name and everything for every one of them. Really, this is just so you can try to get your day planned out. You have an idea, okay, I'm going to just work in this territory right here today. I'll place all my leads here, and I'll know kind of an idea of where they're at. And then get rid of it. So the other thing you can do is click on this again, and it's going to actually take out all the leads on here. Just taking all the leads off. Okay, let's say I was going through my leads and I decided, or I'd not decided, but I got a hold of this Pritchard, and he said, you know what, come on out, do a presentation. I will be available on a such and such date. So what I'll do is I'll click on that event, and I will be able to set up what I want, an appointment with him. So this was a guy, this was a business, so say I was working businesses, and he said, come on out, and he wants me to do an appointment, which would be to set up for a presentation. So I'd hit appointment, and then let's just say it was for next Monday at 3 p.m. All right, so that's set up for 3 p.m. All I need to do is hit save. And then there it is, it's saved in there. And then also, by the way, say he called me right back while I was still had this open, or during the call, or whatever this case may be, and he decided to change the date, I can quickly just change it right here, or I can edit the event right here. I can delete the event. I can edit the lead. I can call back the lead if I needed to get more information. I can route out to the lead just to see how far it is from me currently. And I can also look at dispositioning it as well. So maybe he called me back, and if I was selling something that I could sell over the phone, maybe he said, you know what, just tell me about it over the phone. So I'm like, okay. So then I can actually just disposition it from there. So I'll go back out, go back. All right, so on here, I went back to where I was. So let me quickly just go back to source one. Okay, so we're back to these leads. Now let's just say I was going through here, got a hold of any of these, anybody here. Let's say Mindy. I got a hold of Mindy, and Mindy says, do a presentation. I'm on the phone with her. Okay, cool. I just did a presentation with her, and I sold her. So on here, I would be able to go ahead and, even though the lead was new, it's going to automatically put itself as working because now that I'm moving it. And I did a phone call, and it automatically dates it for me. Did a presentation, sold her for $300. Okay, and 0 referrals. Hopefully, I got referrals, right? Then if you wanted to set up another appointment with her, you can do it right here. Maybe like a callback or something. And let's just say it's in a couple of weeks, and it's just because I want to congratulate her or whatever. And then save. Okay, so that lead was moved out of here, and it's not in here anymore, obviously. So now I can move on back to my workflow. Now let's say I'm like, okay, great, I'm going to go out and do a presentation right now, and I have my laptop with me. So I can actually go out and do a presentation, and then as soon as I was done, let's say it was with this one, as soon as I was done, say it's visiting, it's kind of neat as you can actually use this on the app, or here you could say from login location or lead location and current location, calculate. Okay, so it just put in the mileage for me, and then any comments I want to add, like great guy sold for $500, and do 500. And then number of referrals, 10. But let's just say I didn't sell them. Okay, so you have that's the other thing too. It's like if you had an appointment and you're going out there, you would actually just say, well, he wasn't home. You would actually code that as not home. But let's say he was, but I didn't sell him, did a presentation. You have all these different reasons. It's a good idea to record these reasons, because in the future we're going to be able to look at the reasons and see if there was any cases where you're seeing a lot of affordability or change their mind or something like that could actually help you with your presentation, help you become a better salesperson. So anyway, let's just go back here and say we sold them. Sold. Not going to schedule anything back, and we're just going to go ahead and hit save. And then that's done. Now, the next thing I want to show you, there's more to it, but just to keep this short, the other thing you can do is event management. The event management would just be, it's just going to be your calendar. So you could look at your whole month. You could look at future months. If you have anything, you can look behind you and see what you did the month before. And you can also look at the week, which is kind of neat. You can actually look at your whole week. If you've got a lot going on, a lot of appointments set up, you can see them right here. And you can look at the day. Not a lot going on. And then you can see, the week, and that's it. And the other thing is, like, you want to sync this with Google. You'll pick which one you want to sync with, and then it'll actually sync together for you. So then let's go back to goal management. We're almost done with this demo. But let's go to goal management real quickly so I can just show you that as well. So currently I'm working on this one. You can build your goal. You just fill this stuff out and build a goal, and then you would assign it to yourself. On here you can see you can edit one. So like if you just wanted to edit, sometimes this is good though, because like every month or every week, if you like goals, you can just start setting up goals every single week, and then you can go back and actually look at them if you wanted to, and you can see how well you did on them. But let's say I wanted to edit this goal. So I can edit like the date range. Remember I said calls made? We put that in there too. Assigned to self, real simple. I have a comment here, whatever my comment is, and then my goal name. So I can say goal for this month, or goal for March. Goal for this March. Goals for March. Carl's goals for March. So let's say I want to save it. I just change the name of it, and I can go back to home, and you should see a difference here. So Carl's goals for March. You can see my sales are already showing up, my 2 sales, and my total commission, or not commissions, but sales number, presentations, those numbers have gone up. Everything's changed a little bit. My goals here have changed a little bit. So that is basically it, guys. It's very easy to use, very simple system. Everything here is pretty much just, you can work a lead no matter where you're at. You can work the leads, and there's a few more functions in here, obviously, for like the user management. There's a few more functions in here, like if you wanted to build a lead source, you can build your own sources so you can track those leads. You know, you can import leads. This is the beautiful thing. You're going to get this upgrade as well. It's just an easy thing. You can just upload a file. Once you found your file, you can just upload the file right there with all of your leads. And you can also create leads one by one right here. Very simple stuff. And you can also update your profile. You can sync with Facebook. That's another thing you can do, is you can sync with Facebook from inside the system, and you can log out. So that's it for this demo. I hope you got a lot out of it and you could see how valuable this could be for your business, or will be for your business. If you have any questions, or if you have a support issue once you've purchased, you can actually email support@nowdriven.com, or you can go to our support page. Everything you can find will be on nowdriven.com, and I hope to see you in there and you're part of our training. We also have training.nowdriven.com. That is our training website, and you'll be able to get all of the training that you need as you work the system if you have any issues. But for the most part, this thing is very simple to use, very plug and play, very out of the box. You should be able to use it probably within the first 15 minutes of once you've uploaded it or upgraded it. But again, if you have any issues, you can reach out to us. We want to make sure to provide great support for you. So this is Carl Schuckert, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.